What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video where we're back in the garage for the first time in a very long time since we've been filming and editing and having fun at really dope events. I hope you guys have been enjoying those videos, but I also hope you've missed modding the FRS, because today we are going to be installing quite a sick piece. It is the True Focus Fab dual row bash bar crash bar. Now, obviously I've been drifting for quite a while now. I want to tandem soon, but I've always had a worry in tandems because, like, the reality of drifting is you're probably gonna have contact at some time. It's just the strict reality of it. So I went ahead and got the bash bar. So hopefully I'm a little more confident in attempting to tandem. And very soon we have a private day where we will be able to do our first tandems. And I'm actually extra stoked because at the private day, Kevin's gonna be there, a friend from OSW who I've been filming in his BRZ for quite a while now. So I have like good knowledge of how he drives. I intend on chasing him since there's probably a very slim likelihood that he would ever spin. And then, see if at one point I'm confident enough to lead. Now, to spice things up for that private day even more so, it's also gonna be the first test of the PBM angle kit. So I'm gonna be going out, getting warm, trying to make sure that I can control the car, and then hopping in behind Kevin is the goal or plan. And just thinking about it scares me, but it's gonna be really close to my birthday, so it's gonna be like a birthday celebration, drift celebration, my first tandems. Hopefully I don't crash, and if I do crash, at least I have this thing. Alright guys, so right off the bat, I just want to make two things known that probably evidently clear to you already. One being the video quality is pretty bad. That's more so due to my negligence and the new iPhone and forgetting the downgrades back all the way down to 720, but it is what it is. Number two being I did not prep the bar whatsoever before trying to do like a clear coat look or like a resin look over the raw metal. This did not work out whatsoever. That's why this is part one, and there is a part two of painting the bar and actually prepping it correctly. So just wanted to get that out of the way since you're gonna hear me talk about my clear coat job or lack thereof throughout the video as we go forward. So I am finally breaking into the actual bash bar area now. There's 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and the fourth is up there. I don't think anything is attached to it besides the styrofoam, but we're about to find out. Uh-oh. I'm actually attached by all these clips. That was dumb. There's plastic clips on top of this. So I'm definitely leaving this bolt in for a second. So right here, which looks like attaches to the cross member here. Looks like we could take all that off. Alright guys, so I've taken my sweet ass time up to this point, but I wanted to show you how I did this horn thing because I think it is really up to you how you do this. There is a tab here that originally was kind of horizontal, and what I've done is I just bent it down. That way I can level it in here pretty easily and not stretching the wire too much. This is actually unused in stock form. It's just an extra tab. So I've moved to test fitting this, or just making sure it all lines up. There's a bolt here, literally in the right smack dab where the plate would sit. And then there's a bolt here that's on the other side, or actually right here. So this bolt and this bolt clears this one, but this one I believe needs to be removed no matter what. So I'm going through the process of doing that now, test fitting it, to see if I'm correct. Without that prior, the plate just was not flat whatsoever against here because of that bolt. I think the stock system has an opening for that bolt, whereas this plate does not. You can see here, it just barely clears this bottom bolt, and I think I want to keep it. I like to keep as much factory stuff as possible. And the other side I already have set up, but what I'm doing is just getting it somewhat in there, not all the way. I want to put the bash bar in and see how it all test fits together, because there is some cutting on the bumper we have to do. I think it is hitting this. Oh, I see a hole. Yeah, buddy. That's a frightening sound. Let me explain what that sound is, just so you're not freaked out, so nobody's freaked out here. The sound is, here, there's a gap between the bash bar that was there even when it was stock. Let me show you. Yeah, right there. There's a little gap. So the plate, as you can see here, it will sit flush up to a point. So it's like through here. And then right around here, there's an OEM curvature. So if you saw, I tightened down these bottom ones first. The reason why I did that is because I wanted the plate to be flat here, and then tighten up here to put tension on the top. And that's probably what we heard, was just actually me tightening it beyond how tight it was probably prior. It looks freaking sweet. Look at that thing. Pretty mean. For this next section, I'm gonna do it via voiceover, since there was so much trial and error figuring out what was gonna work and what wasn't, you know, taking on and off pieces, shaving down pieces, etc. So we will go over all of that, and I'll pretty much just cut to the chase of what you can fit and what you can't fit. First off, starting with this under tray. It's like way too big entirely, and the bash bar sits exactly where it sits to fasten the bottom pieces of the bumper, so this does have to get taken off. Next, for the honeycomb, I did everything I could to try and shave it down and like allow it to fit through where the roll bars were, but you have to cut so deep into the bottom side of the bumper. I just don't see any way of retaining this mesh unless you by chance maybe switched it out for like an aftermarket mesh, or found some other mesh that would work that's super thin and can now slide in between the cuts. As you can see here, we're going far deeper than where the OEM ridge was for the honeycomb. So like I said, you'd have to find a mesh that can kind of cater to that is very, very thin. I actually know of a buddy who swapped out his mesh entirely for a very, very thin mesh. Nothing related to a bash bar, he just did it because he preferred it, and that would actually work in this situation pretty well. So my last note on the fitment here, you can pretty much see all the cutting's going to be at the bottom if you do want to retain as much factory stuff as possible, like in my case. So you can cut out the bottom for the bars. You can keep the top tabs though for the top half of the mesh, and that's what I opted for, and ended up doing a little bit of shaving here and there, but kept half of it so it somewhat is a little bit sleek and unassuming until you get close and you realize there's a bash bar there. So for this whole next sequence, I managed to record it with a fan blasting directly into the microphones. So I'll go ahead and spare you the suffering and just dictate through what's going on here. The point for the toe strap was actually a little too far to the left in my case. You can see under here, I'm all the way to the right as far as I can be on this side. Now in good faith, I installed and reinstalled this twice just to make sure. And in both cases, the tab was just too far to the left and pressing on the bumper. So ultimately this would have to be ground down, or that was my solution, as I can't just lob it off and weld on a new one. I don't have the tools myself. I totally forgot the fan was on, but you guys get the picture. We're gonna grind up to there or try to make some relief there. Now I tried to make myself like a tape line as dead center as I could, and I think it's pretty good even still looking at it now. And just see like where I was off, because over here it just looked like, and I do have so much more clearance than I do over here. So you can see I just didn't cut it the exact same way. So what I did was taped where, so I can see, you know, like where it's not even, like this part here, this part up here. So I'm gonna make these cuts, make this all even, clean up just a little bit right here, as you can see. Not too much at all right here, just gonna leave it, grind this like I said prior, and I believe we will be done. It's like a little bunny rabbit almost, or so, I don't even know. Put in the comments what it looks like. A shoe? Yeah, kind of looks like a shoe. Yeah. Nice little boot, you know? An Ugg boot, maybe? There we go. Let's get the shot. Oh yeah. It looks pretty wicked, being able to see the inside of it like that. I think it looks pretty sick. All right, so now it's really seeing what can bolt back up. I gotta kind of play around with that, but this is pretty much the install done. Now, I'm gonna have a separate video entirely where I break the bar down and I paint it correctly, the right way, where you actually like prime it and you know, you scuff it up and all that good stuff. Yeah, all the stuff I didn't do, I'm gonna do. So we will get to that in the second video to kind of follow up the install of the True Focus Fab bash bar, and overall I'm really stoked on it, regardless of the little fitting issues and stuff like that. It looks badass. It has a lot of protection. Like the bottom row goes so far that like I'm very protected now from cones. Even too is something I've always thought about, is if you get a cone like dead center and you don't have a decent bash bar, there's a good chance, because the stock bar is like up here, good chance that the cone smacks through your grate and goes right into your radiator. So at least with this, it's guaranteed to push whatever is here out of the way, no matter what. If it's a small cone, that's fine. If it's a big cone, that's fine. And also does a decent job of protecting this headlight, because the bar is like literally right here. But that's the gist anyways, and safer tandems, all that stuff. But once I have the car all cleaned up, like a little more clean than it is in its current state, I will definitely take a video to end this video, just like an end scene with the final look of it at, you know, a parking garage or something around town. So that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions on the install, leave it in the comments. I'm sure you'll learn a lot from my mistakes, and hopefully I will have put everything in, you know, in voiceover if need be. But that's gonna be it. I will catch you guys on the next one, which will be painting the bar. Later.